Today's tutorial is for an interesting and quite unique scarf. There are three aspects that make this scarf unique and quite different from all the scarves that I have crocheted before. First is the design. I made this scarf long and skinny. I think this is the longest scarf I ever crocheted. It measures about 80 inches long and it's only 6 inches wide. I like that I can wrap it around my neck not once, not twice, but 3 times. And there are so many fun ways to style it. But of course, you don't have to make yours this long and skinny. You can make your scarf any size you want. The second aspect that makes this scarf so unique is the stitch itself. It is a very simple stitch. There is only one row repeat, and anyone who knows single crochets and half double crochets can make this stitch. But you will also need to know how to decrease or make 2 stitches finished together, because that's basically what it is. This scarf is made of stitches where 1 single crochet and 1 half double crochet are finished together. And the third aspect that makes this scarf so unusual is the yarn itself. I used 1 cake of Premier butterfly yarn, which is 100% anti-pilling acrylic, and it's a light category 3 yarn. This was the first time ever I worked with this yarn, and I'm so impressed with how soft and squishy this yarn is. It feels very nice to touch it. But there's another quite interesting thing about this yarn, and that's the way it is colored. This is a self-striping yarn. However, as you can see, the majority of the yarn was light gray, and there was a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other different colors, but these 5 different colors altogether only constituted about 1/3 of the cake, and the rest was light gray. At first I wasn't then sure why it's colored that way. I didn't know how the finished project will turn out, but now I'm absolutely in love with this idea. I think it's quite interesting, quite unique and unusual. So again, I used 1 cake of Premier butterfly. I crocheted with a hook size 5 millimeters, and the finished size of my scarf is 80 inches long and 6 inches wide. For this width, I started with 26 chains, but you can make your scarf any size you want, and it is very easy to adjust the width. Before I start the tutorial, I would like to share that now I have a vlog style channel as well. On this channel, Olga Poltava, I will continue posting crochet tutorials, but on my vlog style channel, I will be sharing not only my crochet projects, but also cross-stitching and knitting and whatever other crafts I do. So if you would like to see a little bit of my behind-the-scenes creative process, I invite you to my vlog style channel, which is called My Cozy Crafty Life. I will leave the link in the description box below the video. You can start with any even amount of chains. I start with 26. Here I have 26 chains, and I'm ready to start the first row. You can crochet as usual, inserting the hook into the chains, or if you would like to take your crochet skill to the next level, I recommend crocheting into the back humps of the chain. So on the back side of the chain there are these humps, and if you crochet inserting the hook under each one of them, you will get a better edge of your crochet piece. So that's what I'm going to do, but like I said, you can crochet the usual way, inserting the hook into the chains as well. So to start my first row, I'm gonna be working into the second chain, and I will be working into the back hump of that chain. We never count the chain on the hook, we always start counting from the next one. So 1, 2, that's the chain, and I insert the hook under the back hump and draw up a loop. Next I do a yarn over and I insert the hook under the back hump of the next chain and I draw up a loop. So now I have a total of 4 loops on the hook. Now I do yarn over and I draw it through all of the loops on the hook, all 4 of them. Next, 1 chain. Now I will be doing the same thing. I insert the hook under the back hump of the next chain and I draw up a loop. Then I do yarn over and into the next chain under the back hump. Again, I insert the hook and draw up a loop. Now I have 4 loops on the hook. I do yarn over and draw the loop through all of them. And then 1 chain. And now I do the same thing. Insert the hook, draw up a loop, yarn over, insert the hook, draw up a loop, yarn over, and I draw through all of them. And then 1 chain. Remember to make 1 chain after each of these stitches, and if we think about it, what kind of stitches they are actually a single crochet and a half double crochet decrease, and that's how I'm going to continue crocheting all the way across to the very last chain. And here I crocheted all the way across. I have 1 chain left, and here I will simply make a single crochet into the last chain, but again I work it into the back hump. So now the first row is finished, and by working into the back humps of the chain, this is what the edge looks like. I turn my work and I start next row with 2 chains, 1, 2, and now again I will be crocheting the same kind of stitch, but I need to be very careful where I insert the hook. So first I insert the hook into this very first single crochet and I draw up a loop. Then I do yarn over, and the second time I insert the hook right after that first single crochet. So over here, this is the space where I'm going to insert the hook. So again, let's take a look. It's the space right after the first single crochet. So over here. And now I do yarn over and finish the stitch. And then 1 chain. And I do the same thing over here. Right here, there is a single crochet. That's where I insert the hook the first time. Then I do yarn over, and the second time I insert the hook right after that stitch. Yarn over and finish the stitch. And then 1 chain. And again, this is where I insert the hook the first time, yarn over, and over here right after that stitch I insert the hook the second time, then yarn over, I finish the stitch, and I make 1 chain. And that's how I'm going to continue crocheting all the way across to the last stitch. And it is very important to remember to make 1 chain after those stitches, because if you miss it, when you will be working the next row, all the stitches will be messed up. Here I am at the end of the row, and over here into the last stitch I simply make a single crochet. I turn my work And now all I'm gonna do is repeat row number 2. I start with 2 chains, 1, 2. I insert the hook into the first single crochet, throw up a loop, yarn over, and then I insert the hook into the space right after that first single crochet. Throw up a loop, yarn over, and finish the stitch together. And then 1 chain. And then the same thing again. Insert the hook, draw up a loop, yarn over into the space right after that single crochet, insert the hook, draw up a loop, yarn over, and finish the stitch. And then 1 chain, and so on, all the way across. It's gonna feel a bit strange crocheting this way when you just start doing it, but after you work several rows, this will become quite natural and easy to do. And at the end of the row, I simply make a single crochet into the last stitch. And that's it. That's how I'm going to continue crocheting, simply repeating the second row. Here I crocheted a few more rows, and you simply continue crocheting this way, repeating just 1 row until your scarf reaches your desired length, and then you simply fasten off. And if you wish, you can also add fringe to your finished scarf. To make fringe, I cut yarn into strands of 10 inches long. Then I take 2 at a time, fold them in half. I use the same hook that I crocheted with, and I insert it into each stitch on the edge under 2 loops. Grab the yarn that I folded, pass through, creating a loop like this, and then I pass the ends of the yarn through that loop and pull tightly to secure. And that's how I'm gonna make fringe into each stitch on both ends of the scarf.